Now we'd request Professor Kandarpa Das, Vice Chancellor of Krishna Kanta Handicap State Open University, Assam, India, to address the gathering. Professor Kandarpa Das. Yes.
Good morning. It is indeed a privilege for me to be with you on this inauguration ceremony of this international conference. If you ask me, I'll say I'm not an outsider or a guest. In fact, I'm an insider because I was a student in CRS. I completed my studies in JNU almost 30 years back, and so that is why I feel more of an insider than a guest of today's inaugural function. And because of the peculiar situation today we have been facing, this particular conference we are holding online. This has two aspects. Number one, this has enabled us to have or to assemble a large number of participants across the globe, and also enable us to organize this conference in a very low cost manner. We, as a practitioner, that's my university, practitioner of open and distance learning, and also advocates of open and distance learning, we normally say the open and distance learning is a complementary system of education. It is low cost, which can be accessed by a large number of population, and which is flexible in its own way. Similar way, this particular conference, we can all see, this is accessible to many parts in the globe. It is flexible because all of us could attend this conference from our own place. We did not have to spend money on travel. We did not have to spend time traveling all the way from various countries to India. And still, we are all assembled in one platform, and we are deliberating on this conference. Now, the things comes to our mind, why this online education question of moving to the online system has come. Now, this, if you ask me, I will say, this is not by choice. This is more of a forced kind of a transformation to online learning. I think all of you will agree with me that before the pandemic, none of us were ready to accept the teaching learning to be conducted in online mode, because not only in particular in our country, in many parts of the globe, the teaching learning through open distance learning mode, which is not through a traditional classroom system, has been looked down as the inferior kind of teaching learning process. Many people in India are not even ready to accept the graduates from open and distance learning system. Now, what is online learning? This is a different avatar of the open and distance learning, which has transformed from the 19th century correspondence course to the intervention of information and communication technology, and which has enabled us to opt for the online learning in the distance and open learning. Now, after this forced option of open distance learning in the form of online learning, not only by the universities like us, which is traditionally the open university, which promotes distance learning, but also the conventional universities who otherwise could not or did not believe in online education or open and distance learning. Now, in this situation, what has happened? I'll just try to align myself with the example of JNU. I think JNU administration, Honorable Vice Chancellor has rightly mentioned, they have taken a very proactive role in transforming the the whole education, the classroom system, teaching, learning into the online mode. They tried to keep the door of learning open for the learners, those who could not attend because of pandemic, because we could not hold normal classes. But what are the problems? Number one, I feel in India, we all face with three problems. Number one, the many villages, though the government says that all the villages have been electrified, till the many villages maybe not been, they do not have the access of electricity. Even if you have some access to the electricity, the students may not have access to the device which we need to cope ourselves with the online learning, with a smartphone or maybe a laptop or maybe a desktop computer. And the third and most important, which even I am also feeling now, I'm also been affected now, because the internet connectivity in Assam for us, Northeast, it's not so good. And Assam, Guwahati is the capital. My university is it's a privileged university, not so underprivileged, but even then, the connectivity is not so good. So how do we expect the students from a remotest part of the country to have good internet access with good bandwidth? So definitely, this digital divide is present when we go for trying to talk about transforming or moving towards online learning. Now, I personally also agree with, I think Honorable Vice Chancellor has rightly said, that in the post-COVID situation, perhaps, the situation what we have now about the regular face-to-face class will not have the same way as we used to have previously. The nature and the quality of those classrooms will definitely drastically change, because I think all of us would agree, because we all have been told that we have to learn to coexist with this COVID virus for maybe another 1 year or 2 years till the vaccine is invented by the scientists. So in that situation, the classroom in the post-COVID situation will not be the same as it used to be pre-COVID situation. In that situation, what should be done and what should be the option before us? So in that situation, I feel that blended learning may be one of the options which we can effectively use. Blended learning is basically a part of the classroom, part of the teaching learning we can definitely try to hold through face-to-face contact with the teachers and students, and part definitely through online learning. So the role of online learning with the use of information and communication technology will play a very prominent role in the teaching learning process of the post-COVID situation. So then the third important one also I feel, in many of our system in India, many of our regulatory agencies do not accept that distance learning or online as an alternative to the teaching learning method. They do not recognize that their students, their graduates should be from open and distance learning. For example, Bar Council of India. So they do not allow legal education through open distance learning or online. Now, this situation also probably would force them to revisit or rethink about their option about the regulation. Another aspects of the new situation will also pose a question before us, that is online learning, online teaching learning method, can it be alternative or can it replace the traditional face-to-face classroom? If you ask me personally, though I advocate open distance learning, I would say no. It cannot replace the face-to-face classroom in any way. However, the open distance learning and online learning can be a qualitative substitute or qualitative alternative when the provision of face-to-face classroom is not there. It is an alternative. Because in this situation in India, when you promote open distance learning, we have a large number of youth whom we have to bring the higher education. Since we do not have too many higher education institutions, everybody cannot afford a face-to-face classroom. Everybody cannot go to the universities. So open distance learning or online learning is alternative for them to continue their learning. So in the post-COVID situation also, when the situation will not allow us to have the face-to-face classroom, this online classroom will definitely help us. And this is what I feel, that in a post-COVID situation, online learning and the ICT will play a very big role, major role. And in that situation, our role of teachers will be very important. And I feel that since in the pre-COVID situation, the teachers, students, and also the administrator of the universities were not ready for this situation. Definitely, many of our teachers and students are not so conversant with the online system of learning. We have to empower our teachers, students to the new system. And not only that, we also have to sensitize our teachers and students about the effectivity of the system. Because I also feel, I think you would agree, many JNU probably today have a very skeptical kind of attitude towards online learning. So I think I'm all for having a skeptical attitude, because unless and until we have skeptical attitude, we definitely will not aspire for quality. That's a good sign. But even then, I would request that if we feel, we've convinced that online learning has many positive sides, in a post-COVID situation, we'll have no option but to opt part of our teaching learning through online. We definitely have to sensitize those section of our teaching community who has skepticism about the online learning system. So these are the few points I just wanted to highlight for consideration. I believe this conference will deliberate all these issues and will definitely try to find out some solution, some recommendation for the policymakers. I wish this conference a great success. I thank my colleagues in CRS, my colleagues from the Uzbekistan, who has taken initiative in organizing this conference, which it's a need of the time. And I also congratulate the Vice Chancellor JNU for playing a very proactive role in taking this initiative for online learning. I'll just speak a very few sentences in Russian for our colleagues from Moscow and Uzbekistan. And so I thank you, all of you, and giving me this opportunity to be with you on this day. So thank you. Now I'll speak a few sentences in Russian. Дорогие друзья, уважаемый вице-канцлер университета имени Джавахарлала Неру, коллеги из Центра русских исследований, коллеги из Узбекистана, друзья из Москвы и коллеги из разных стран мира, позвольте мне поздравить вас всех, что вы решили организовать такую конференцию, которая очень нужна в это времени, потому что у нас времени очень тяжелое. Коронавирус учила нас, как вообще поступить в образовании. Мы, наш университет, который работает на основе дистанционного образования. Мы знаем, что дистанционное образование это как работа как альтернатива, когда возможность занятий на классах невозможна. В этой ситуации